topic with politics and how it affects you. And I am sitting here today with Sheriff Chuck Edge from Ellis County. How are you doing today?
Doing fine. How you doing, Reed?
Good. You guys are doing a great job. The first thing I know everybody wants to know, as far as our viewers, is what are you guys doing? We have been, we're under an order of shelter in place here in Ellis County and in Dallas County too as well. And it says that you're not supposed to leave your home unless you are an essential business or you need to go to the store. How are you? Tell me a little bit about what you guys are experiencing with that and how you're enforcing that, or if you have the ability to.
Well, that's a whole lot of questions all in one thing. First, let me just talk about the order a little bit.
Okay.
The order obviously is an enforceable order.
Mm-hmm.
The governor sent out an order, and now the county judges and the commissioner's court have placed an order. And the cities within Ellis County are putting out similar orders. They are enforceable. It does have the appropriate language for, can we enforce it? Are we authorized to enforce it?
Okay.
Yes, we are. It becomes a practical matter of how can we enforce it. We still have this little document here called a Constitution. We have a Constitution for the state of Texas as well.
Right.
We have to have probable cause to stop you. This order in and of itself is not probable cause.
Okay.
So if you're driving down the road or if you're walking down your sidewalk, we can't just come up to you and write you a ticket for being in violation of this order. You actually have to be violating one of the state laws, or we have to have probable cause to approach you anyway. In the enforceability side of it, yes, you have to be one of the essential personnel going to your place of business or one of the essential locations.
Mm-hmm.
Grocery stores, convenience stores, medical facilities. Construction jobs are considered essential personnel. Well, therefore, Lowe's and Home Depot, to name a few. Not trying to advertise for anyone,
Right.
but well, if construction's available, then they have to go. So
Okay.
there are so many exemptions to it that it just becomes impractical for us to enforce it.
Right.
Now, that being said, if it's an obvious, you got 200 and some odd people at a barn dance, that's a totally different situation.
Right.
You are not working within the spirit of the law or the spirit of the order, and you're placing people at risk.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really difficult for us. It's completely impractical. It's not a lackadaisical attitude for it. It's not a flippant attitude for it. It's just reality.
Mm-hmm.
We're not. The Ellis County Sheriff's Office is not going to be driving around to see if you're in violation of this order.
Right, you still need probable cause, okay? Because I know there's been a lot of questions with that. I've had conversations with people that were like, well, they're just going to stop us. But there's too many essential businesses. If I remember, that order had like at least three pages of essential businesses.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of people that still are out on the road.
Restaurants.
Right.
It's curbside.
Mm-hmm.
It's takeout.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're the essential employee and you're at work, you got to go get lunch somewhere. So now all of the restaurants are still open. So
Right.
it just becomes problematic and impractical.
Okay, now I know that there was a situation at the Galaxy Theater, the drive-in theater in Ennis, where you guys had to go out there, am I correct, and tell people they couldn't be there watching a movie? Is that accurate, or is that not accurate information?
To a certain extent it is. You have to remember that this order was just put in place a few days ago.
Okay.
The one before that was a 10 order from the governor, and the previous county order was at 50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we have changed it. We've already been told the Galaxy Theater plans to be open again this weekend.
Okay.
All right, so we're actually looking at that. We've been told they're going to shut down the concession stand, so they don't need
That's
to congregate
a possibility,
there.
yeah.
So now what you have is you have individual groups inside a car 10, 12 feet away from each other. The spirit of the law is you're actually complying. You're not trying to infect anybody. Otherwise, if you're a family, you'd be at the house with each other anyway.
Do it right. Just don't eat and don't go to the bathroom, right?
That's the one that we're still having to worry about.
But that's easy enough to tell people not to do, and hopefully they'll do it.
Is staff going to have anybody there to, you can't go in yet, somebody else? We don't know. We're going to work on that, and we're going to have to cross that bridge when we get there. Again, it's not trying to put it off. It's just that this is such a fluid thing. The times are changing so fast. We've got to go through all the what ifs, all the what possible scenarios.
Right.
And it's a little bit. And again, we get calls. An officer stopped me. Well, okay, an officer or a deputy. Well, it was a city officer. So why are you calling the county?
They don't know
we
the
can't tell
difference.
you what they're going to do with their orders.
Yes.
I can tell you, all across law enforcement, you still have to have probable cause.
All right. That was my phone. Sorry about that, guys. So I want to ask you another question. I had heard some rumors, and we talked about this before the show, that there were some cases of COVID-19 in the Ellis County Jail. That is a rumor, and you have told me it's absolutely not true. So I just want to share that information here, and I want you to explain to me the same thing, like what you said to me, tell our viewers about why you know for a fact there are no COVID-19.
We don't have a single person in the Ellis County Jail, the Wayne McCollum Detention Center, inmate or detention officer that has tested positive for COVID-19. We have a medical staff up there. No, we don't have any COVID-19 tests.
Okay.
But if we have somebody that comes down with symptoms, they are being taken and they get the test.
Mm-hmm.
We have not had to take anybody to even get the test, much less having one of those tests come back positive.
Right.
Before this ever really got to this situation, it's been over 3-4 weeks ago, we started changing our screening questions.
Okay. All
We've
right.
always had medical screening questions. Now we have screening questions that include, back then, did you even travel? Well, the travel's now pretty much gone out of it.
Right.
We're asking all the essential questions, but we're asking them outside the door before you ever come in the jail.
Okay.
Now, you can't even get inside the Wayne McCollum Detention Center without having your temperature taken.
Wow, okay.
We've got 2 negative pressure cells in that place that if anybody even comes anywhere close with those symptoms, they can go in that situation, which is completely ventilated out, and there is no contamination possible in that location without contact. So the jail staff has done amazing. There is no one in the Ellis County Jail with COVID-19.
Okay. And you probably don't want to answer this question and just say, I don't know the answer to it, but how do you think they ended up with it in Dallas? Do you think somebody may have had it and got
Well, I do not know the answer to that question,
Okay.
obviously, but their population is a lot larger.
totally different than yours? Okay. And
So-
the way, probably even the way they process,
Right.
I'm guessing.
We tend to run in the mid 400s, maybe in the low 5s before. Currently, right now, we are in the 330s and the 320s.
Wow.
We're restricting who comes in,
Okay.
and we're trying to get people out.
That's good.
It's not so much if we bring someone in that is infected, we worry about that. We're trying to screen for that.
Exactly.
But if we bring that person in, the other inmates then become susceptible to it as well.
Exactly,
So if we can
right.
get them out, and somebody does come in, then it's less possible contamination for the inmates.
Okay. And I had a viewer ask me to ask you this question. If someone wants to leave this county to go somewhere that's a little safer in their mind, in an RV or whatever the case may be, what do you recommend in that regard?
I recommend that they drive safe.
Get out.
And obey the traffic laws.
Okay.
Again, as you travel through Ellis County, we're not going to be looking at you to see if you were involved. You don't have to have papers say I'm traveling. You know,
All right.
I can't speak for the counties that you're going to have to travel through to
Right.
get there, but Texas law enforcement still has to have probable cause
Okay.
to pull you over. You have to be violating a traffic law or a penal law of some type
Okay.
for us to have that interaction.
Okay. And that's throughout the state, and I know you've been around a long time and you know what's going on. So thank you for giving us that
No
information.
county has yet lifted the Constitution for the state of Texas or America.
And we're not going into martial law anytime soon that you're aware of.
There is, the National Guard has supposedly been activated. They have not been deployed, but they are not what's called Title 32 orders. The Title 32 orders is they're working for the president. If they're not under Title 32, they're working for the governor, which means they're actually working for the local law enforcement, which is me.
Okay.
We don't have the National Guard deployed in Ellis County
So if we
for that
deploy-
type of law yet.
All right. When we do that, we'll have you back. Thank you. We have 1 minute, so we're going to say goodbye. You have been a pleasure talking to you this morning. Very knowledgeable, and I appreciate you coming out.
Thank you, ma'am. We're
Thank
glad
you,
to get
Sheriff
the
Edge.
information out. We do take it serious, but there's just not
You gotta do what
everything
you
we can
gotta
do
do.
at one time.
Thank you. I'm Rita Cook with Politics and How It Affects You.